Grimcast Manila is a podcast of creepy stories from around the metro. I'm your scaredy-cat host, Antonette, and I love a good ghost story. In this episode, we're talking to Russ. Russ is an amazing musician and frustrated drummer, fronting acts like Faspitch and Urbandub. He is also producer and mixing engineer for RussMan Audio and our beloved junior engineer at Big Baby Studios.
You were saying that your mom was made you watch it because she was trying to get you to be brave?
Yes, something like that. Like she explained a later point in my life when I asked her why she made me watch that at a very young age. Parang yun yung reason na binigay niya. It was to somewhat educate me na of the evils that actually exist and that this is the enemy of the God, Jesus that we pray to. So
it was like a religious cautionary tale.
Yeah, because my mom's a diehard Catholic.
Sure.
Yeah.
Up
until today. Yeah, up until today. But it's weird because one Christmas I went back home to Cebu and she mentioned that she started watching these other Christian channels na non-Catholic, and then she realized na parang same lang pala yung message same lang pala yung Protestant Bible and Catholic Bible. It's just they took out some books and get into all the geeky technicals of theology and all that stuff. So parang she became more open-minded na about other religions, I guess. And then at some point, I think I became an omnist at some point.
An omnist. For those who don't know what that means, including myself, what is an omnist?
An omnist is a guy that respects and acknowledges all religions.
Ooh, that's lovely.
Mm-hmm. It's to understand the concept of existence, you have to understand the concept of life, death, and love, and all that shit. Parang basically all these deities that people worship, they speak of the same message. They speak of love, they speak of forgiveness, they speak of heaven and hell for Christians, and karma for Hinduism, and for Buddhism, and every other religion out there. Parang the bottom line pa rin nila is make the most out of your human years living on this planet by doing good.
Right.
So after you pass on, you have good karma, or you're in a good place, whether it's heaven or up there in a different galaxy or in a different dimension or whatever.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I think that is a perfect segue to my next question, which is, do you believe in ghosts?
I do. I've actually seen weird supernatural things
supernatural things.
Yep, in lalo na there was a time back at home in Cebu where Cebu is just a small island. It's the city is small. Everyone sort of just knows each other, and there was a time siguro mid 2000s, and I was hanging out with really good friends of mine. We have this word in Cebuano called duulanon.
What does that mean?
Malapitin.
Okay.
Which means malapitin sila ng mga elementals, ng mga spirits, or
so for our listeners who are not actually Filipino, malapitin means that stuff like this happens to you, and supernatural things just sort of happen to you on the regular, and they sort of just gravitate towards you.
Mm-hmm. It's you're a magnet for all the supernatural stuff going on.
Right.
Wherever you go, it's I don't know if your third eye is open or closed. You just see stuff, feel stuff, hear stuff that you can't see or you can't physically touch, but you have that sense that it's there, it's watching you, or it's passing you by, or whatever. But you have that perception, you just become a magnet for these things, which is weird because I noticed when I moved to Manila and stopped hanging out with them, the chances of me experiencing those things started to diminish. Parang unlike back in the day when I was hanging out with them before, maybe there was not a week that there were no weird things happening around them. Wherever we'd be, at a friend's house that was haunted or that had a portal to a different dimension that was a gateway for elementals. Because we did have this one friend na their house, before they renovated their house, because of how the house was like formed, like from the front to the backyard, it was descending. So it was like on a small hill and then going towards the back where the office of, they have like home offices there and the guest house. And apparently their backyard area was like, according to a spiritist that their mom consulted with, kasi whenever they'd have guests there, they'd like have weird experiences.
Okay.
Including myself. Parang, kasi I used to hang out in their house. They were a really crafty bunch. Like they had their own audio video production outfit. There was their house. So they had like a video editing team, like a audio editing team. And and they were actually, this group, this crafty bunch were the guys who shot our first music video ever sa Faspitch, yung I think before Pisces, with a white background back in the day. They were the ones who shot, so I made good friends with them. So those days when we shot that, I'd hang out there, and apparently, their backyard was some sort of portal for like elementals. So I remember this one time I was on the phone with someone just outside the office. I was sitting on the stairs because the office and the guest house were just right across from each other. And I was sitting down on the stairs, on the steps going to the guest house. I was on the phone. It was an old Samsung phone that with the lights on, even when you're talking on the phone, like the lights are on the phone, like the keypads are lit up. Then all of a sudden, while I was on the phone talking to someone, I was just sitting on the stairs. I saw this like 2 or 3 foot tall troll, the duende, whatever. It had like a kimpi hair, and para siyang, it had like a little bit of fur. And like, you know those toys, the trolls?
Yeah.
Exactly like that, but just like blow it up a little bit, like 2-3 feet na ganon.
Like a gnome really size?
Yeah, like a gnome size.
Like a garden gnome?
Yeah, like ganon. A garden gnome size. And then it was coming from my right, walking sideways, going like that.
Okay.
So, and then when I said, oh shit, it looked at me and it looked surprised and happy to see my face, or maybe it was amazed by my cell phone with all those lights. It started running towards me with
my god,
like parang, hey, parang ganon.
Oh my god, no!
It started running towards me like that, parang, hey, phone, give me the phone. And it raised its like short hands up, and I was like, I freaked out. So I ran. I got up from the step, and I ran. And running towards the office, I accidentally kicked it with my left leg. And I felt it. But I don't know where it landed after I kicked. I just felt it. And then I told them. And then I was being a little hysterical. So I was like, shit guys. I saw a dwarf. I saw a gnome. I saw a duende. Whatever it was. A troll. Whatever. It had this face. So I drew it on a piece of paper. Right?
Yeah.
Just to show them, because they were like, oh man, because those guys, they were like siblings, and their youngest brother apparently had seen the same troll, gnome, dwarf, elf, whatever it was, seen it inside his room a couple of times.
Doing what?
Like messing up his shirts.
What?
Like going through his like drawers and like making, gulo, the t-shirts.
Just making a mess?
Just making a mess and like laughing and running around.
So just just being mischievous, like overall.
Just mischievous, like playful, like harmless, playful, but still,
annoying
and
slightly creepy.
Slightly creepy. So he confirmed that was the same thing he saw, because when I drew it, it had the kimpi hair, had the same description. Parang it was wearing like worn down children's shorts, na like Boy Scout shorts, na parang porontong.
Right, okay.
Na parang gusot-gusot yung dulo. And I don't know if it was wearing suspenders or anything, but maybe that was just my imagination.
Maybe.
But I swear to God, like I saw it, I felt it, I kicked it, I don't know where it landed. And yeah, from then on, I was convinced. And going back to the story where their mom consulted with a spiritist and a feng shui expert. Oh, that's not the only incident that happened in their house. There was this one time
Okay.
we had like a slumber party, pajama
Sure.
party. So overnight and drinks.
How old
and
were
like,
you guys when you were there? By the way, like how old were you?
I was probably 20 or 19 years old.
Oh, okay, like adult.
Yeah, adult, like 05,
Ah.
04, 05, 06.
Right, right. Okay.
04, 05, 06, 07. Right
So
before I moved to Manila back in 08.
Nice. So you guys were having a sleepover.
Yeah, we were having like a sleepover with like their friends and like, and we were at the guest house
Mm-hmm.
and everyone was like asleep na.
Mm.
Everyone's like passed out. And biglang yung kabilang bed, may nambato ng unan.
From the other bed to like you.
Not to me, but to them.
Okay.
And we all woke up because the guy was screaming like,
why?
The fuck was that? Parang,
right.
Sino yun? Hey, guys, stop it. Parang, and everyone was like, hey, what's up? Parang, yeah, we're all sleeping. Like, we're all like pissed drunk, wasted, and like asleep. Like everyone's puked already, like partied out. And what the fuck are you talking about? And he was just like, no, can you stop that? Can you stop that? Can you stop? Just stop. I mean, it's not funny.
Uh-huh.
And then it happens again, like
in the same night. And like
same night, like maybe 2 hours apart or like an hour and a half apart. It happens again na binatukan sila ng pillow. So okay guys, let's move into the main house because they were all feeling like a little
weird and off.
Na. So yeah, and the way the pillow was thrown at them was it wasn't like you just threw it onto the other bed. Like it was like really like ganon.
Like how you would hit someone if you were in a pillow fight.
Yeah. It's like how you hit someone when you were in a pillow fight. So
there's like force behind it, and they're like they wake up because of it. Like it's enough to wake someone up.
And no one was. I don't know if they were just one of them was just playing with us, or it was just one of us who was doing it. But the fact that it happened twice and no one was saying shit or like laughing about it. Mm-hmm. We just all decided to just like leave.
Right.
And I think I think we went straight to breakfast, like Sinangag Express. Because there was a Sinangag Express like 2 minutes away from that house.
Oh my god, I love Sinangag Express.
Me too.
Sinangag Express. Sorry, I mean we're talking about ghosts, not food.
Yeah.
So basically you have that guy who's basically ready to punch anyone who was like throwing the pillow at him. But then the second time it happened, everybody felt really, really weird and was like, let's maybe get out of here.
Yeah, we all agreed
to just go have some breakfast.
Yeah,
like it's not gonna let us sleep. Did you ever find out what it was?
Well, apparently that's when the spiritist thing came in after all those incidents, because it wasn't just us that was experiencing it. Like in their own circle of friends, they had their own experiences, because like it's a pretty decent house. They had like a pool table and a garden. Parang yung experience yung ibang experience ng friends nila, billiard tacos just falling off on its own. And like the billiard balls, like pool balls just hitting each other. No one's there by the pool table. Shit like that. So the family finally decided like, hey, we should probably have this like checked by a priest or a spiritist or a witch doctor or whatever. So they had like a spiritist check out the place, and the first thing he said, like, wow, there's an enormous amount of like unworldly energy here. It's not necessarily like dark. It's not necessarily light either. It's because of how your house is designed, like towards the back. It's going down like
a slope.
Yeah, like a slope. So the backyard, yung pinakalikod nung backyard nila is like a basin, like a drainage of like negative energy. And because of that, there's like a little gateway there for stuff to like come and go. That's why everyone who stays here has those experiences. So after that, they had their house renovated. Like they made it flat now all the way to the back. They had it like blessed. They'd have it blessed like maybe 4 times a year, or like or like once a month or something like that. And then after that, and it worked. And after that, wala na. No more incidents of those things.
But it was
And
only
then
like stuff like that, like elemental stuff or like little mischievous stuff.
yeah, just little mischievous stuff like in that house.
You know what's strange is that I feel like I'd prefer that. I'm not asking for it, universe,
Mm-hmm.
FYI. I just feel like I prefer that to like really scary things that like want your soul. You know what I
Oh
mean?
my god, that's the thing that no one wants, I guess. Like dabbling into those
Like,
like
I'm okay.
demons and stuff like that.
Dude. Like,
Oh my
hit me with a
god.
pillow, man. Carry, can do. But like,
Yeah. Like
wag na the other stuff.
yeah, not the soul stuff, not the poltergeist stuff
Yeah.
either. I don't like not the harmful stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
No, none
Parang,
of that.
if it's things that parang I can coexist with the man, sure, man, no probs. You be there, I be here.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I had this one incident. I was probably in high school.
Okay.
One of my ninongs, a really close friend of our family,
Mm-hmm.
died of cancer.
Oh, I'm
Let's
sorry.
see, yeah, sorry, Ninong Phil. And after his funeral, we went back home, right?
Mm-hmm.
So sleeping time.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, I think my dad went straight to Manila after the funeral. So
Mm-hmm.
I kept my mom company in their bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
And then just right outside my parents' room, there's a window, and you can see like the light for the outside, the light outside. Just so
Mm-hmm.
like the front yard is like lit, because the window is facing towards the front of the house.
Mm-hmm.
So just about when we were about to sleep, the lights kept flickering,
Mm-hmm.
and we smelled both me and my mom. We smelled the candle being lit up, or like
Okay.
you know the smell of like a candle na parang pinatay lang. You just put it off.
Sure, sure, sure.
Like you blow when you blow a candle and it smells kind of burnt and like waxy like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So we both smelled it, but we were wondering there's no candle lit in the room.
Uh-huh.
So we went out to check, like maybe
Yeah, like
my
what if
short.
something's burning or whatever?
Yeah, what if something's burning? So we went out to check out the altar with Immaculate Heart of Mary and the Jesus altar, and then the candle wasn't lit.
Mm.
And then we went to check the light switch of that very light that was like flickering on and off.
Mm-hmm.
And both me and my mom saw the light switch moving on its own.
What? What? What?
It was
Like, it
moving
was
on its
like-
own.
Is it like the kind of
It's
switch
like-
that goes left and right or up and down?
Up and down siya.
And it was like going just up and
It was
down
like
by itself.
Up and down, but not frantically. But it was like up and then down, and then up and then down, like parang Morse code. And then my mom started saying, she mentioned the name of that ninong.
Mm-hmm.
Parang she said Phil, because his name was Phil. He was a
Yeah.
really nice guy. Phil, thank you for everything. Thank you for visiting. If you can stop now, because we are getting a little afraid.
Uh-huh.
So, kumbaga, parang well wishes. We will continue to pray for you and in the afterlife. And we will always remember to have you in our hearts, in our minds, ganun, blah, 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 blah. And after she says her monologue.
So she said all of this out loud.
Yeah, out loud. And I was there.
And you were there. How old were you?
Probably 13 or 14.
Okay.
When that happened. Basta high school na ako.
Yeah.
And then biglang nag-stop, and then he left the light on.
Huh. And
And then
like,
we felt better afterwards.
you felt better.
Both of us felt better afterwards. And then she started like a little bit teary-eyed.
Oh, yeah.
And so parang okay, so that was really Ninong Phil, just trying to say goodbye, I guess.
And then it never happened again?
It never happened again. Nope.
Oh, okay.
But maybe my only ever since I moved to Manila in 2008, I've only had like maybe 3 weird experiences, like paranormal experiences here.
Uh-huh.
One was shortly after my grandma died.
Okay.
I remember kasi as a kid, like I was pretty much a lola's boy.
Mm-hmm.
She would always try to fix stuff around, lalo na the towels.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you had like a bed frame and then you have like a foot frame, some beds.
Mm-hmm.
She used to like kasi hang fold the towel and like put it on the foot of the bed.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this one time I was still living back in Cubao, one of my first few months here. I moved in here April of 2008. My lola died sometime in May.
Mm-hmm.
So medyo 1 month lang yung pagitan. And then I went home for funeral. Then I came back here. to do the whole grind thing with the band. And
Mm-hmm.
then one morning, I went to the shower. I finished showering. I went back into the room.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember I just like threw my towel on the bed.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went straight to the kitchen and got something. I forget what, but I remember going to the kitchen and going back into the room a few minutes later, and I find my towel folded and by the bed. Kahit walang foot frame yung bed ko
Right.
doon. And it kind of reminded me like, it was like probably my lola, my grandma trying to make paramdam or something. So like the same thing, I just said na Layu, because I called her Layu. Layu, I'm okay. I will continue to pray for you and hope you have a peaceful afterlife. Ganon. And then after that, I felt better. I wasn't scared anymore.
Did that happen again ever?
Nope.
No, na. So this feels like a good thing to do.
Yeah, so like to like talk to them if they're friendly. But the scary thing is if they are sort of harmful.
Do you know how to tell?
Oh, when you start, well, based on my knowledge with the experience of some people that I know, they can hurt you. They can give you bruises or scratch you or like throw things at you. That's the one that's just really scary.
Yeah, so maybe like start the troll, do not engage.
Yeah.
Just fucking run. Book it, man.
Yeah. Just, just don't even bother like trying to make contact. That's one thing I don't get to. Like, why would you want to contact them?
I know, dude.
Like in movies, like why would you want to summon something? Why the fuck would you play with a Ouija board, diba? Parang
I guess like for the plot, but honestly, like in my personal life, sometimes talaga, like when I watch horror movies and they're like, going like, ooh, let's play with a Ouija board, guys, or like, let's read the Latin. I'm like, what did you expect, po? But I don't feel that bad for you anymore. It's like you go down the basement stairs. Hello.
Right.
Or parang like you turn off all the lights. Maybe don't do that if you're in a haunted house, no?
Yeah, if you know already it's haunted, then don't provoke them even further. I mean, don't challenge them or don't challenge yourself even. Just
diba?
Just respect them. If you were a skeptic, then just respect. Just not everyone is a skeptic. Like
Yeah, dude. No, I get it.
Yeah.
But okay, so I mean, if you feel like, I feel like sometimes naman, if it's like a friendly situation, would you say that you kind of have this gut feel that it's not a negative situation?
Me per se, I think from the moment where you kind of notice that it's there because of like the clues that it leaves you, like rattling noises or moves objects around and stuff like that. Siguro, at first impression, you can sense it na agad eh. Lalo na if, like, for people who have, like, third eye open. I mean, that's even scarier because you can actually see it.
Yeah,
like maybe
dude.
not just in the corner of your eye, but actually, like, focus on it and zoom at it. And, like, no matter how many times you blink, it's still there.
Yeah, no, I've, like,
but
hard pass.
Diba? Yun din, hindi ko guess why some people want their third eye open. Parang.
I mean, look, I don't know. Maybe they're so much more matapang than we are.
Yeah,
good
probably.
for them. Good luck with that, sir, ma'am. Pero,
Bahala kayo sa buhay niyo. Ako, goods na ako.
Goods na. So your
Goods na
third
ako.
eye is not, would you say that your third eye isn't open and like you don't see stuff?
I don't see stuff anymore. Not maybe in the past.
Anymore?
Not in the past 10 years. Probably. Ever since I moved in here like 13 years ago or something.
So wait, you said anymore. So you used to?
Yes, definitely. I did see a lot of stuff.
I mean, not just Mr. Duende, huh?
Nope. Yeah, the gnome, me kicking the gnome thing happened a few years later.
Before we leave Cebu, what else
Before
happened?
we leave Cebu. Oh yeah, summer of 2004.
Oh wow.
I remember it really, really, really well.
Was it the first of summer? Hey. No.
It was the last of its kind. Hopefully for a really long time and like forever, forever. Sana. Okay. Long story short, I had a possession scare.
A possession scare.
Yep.
All right, let's get into this. What the fuck happened?
Okay, guys, whoever's listening to this, believe it or not, long story short, I went to a house that was burnt down with ill feelings by the former owner, and I was hanging out there with four other guys. Oh, three other guys and a girl. So there were five of us all in all.
Mm-hmm.
And the same day, we had a common friend who just lived maybe 3 blocks away from that house.
Mm-hmm.
And it was his birthday party. But we kind of felt like not going because we didn't we just wanted like a more intimate, like tambay hangout.
Mm-hmm.
So, kids being kids, teenagers, we went to a convenience store, grabbed as much booze as we can, the cheap booze and cheap chips.
Mm-hmm.
And we decided, I don't know whose crazy idea it was, we decided to hang out in this house that was burnt down, that had a no trespassing sign.
Oh, come on, guys.
I know, right? Like dumb kids. So yeah, we decided to hang out in that house, had no trespassing. So we stationed ourselves to what we think was probably in between the garage and the living room when the house was still like super intact.
So you were inside the house, the actual house.
We were inside the actual house that was burnt down like maybe 10 years prior or even more.
Right.
We were there for maybe just about 10, 20 minutes.
Okay.
And then the girl that was with us is a magnet.
Okay.
And a year prior to that, she had a possession scare as well in her own retreat at high school.
Okay.
So she was still kind of recovering from that trauma, but I don't know what the hell we were thinking of like doing there. It didn't seem haunted. It just looked creepy when you looked at it. It didn't seem haunted at all. So, okay, we got maybe 2 rounds of shots going. And who gets drunk after 2 shots of, I'm just going to say it, tequila. Cheap tequila. I'm not going to say what brand of tequila.
Did it taste like gasoline? Because if it did, I think I know which one it is.
Yes, kinda.
Oh, no.
It's the typical tequila you can find in gas stations and like convenience stores that won't break the bank.
Does it start with an L?
Yeah, it does.
Oh, no. That was so bad.
Yeah, it is. But anyway, so we had like 2 shots na siguro going around. And fast forward, no one really gets drunk after 2 shots. Maybe on the 3rd or 4th, you start feeling funky and I don't know, maybe you start to hallucinate. But all of us started smelling a burnt candle. All right. So I'll go back a little bit. Before going there, being dumb kids, since we were still minors, doing mischievous things. Doing mischievous things. Because we all, teenagers, they always want to grow up or act like grown-ups and like think they're better. They can handle alcohol and like mischief and get away with it and all that shit. So before going there, we asked permission from the mom of one of the guys that I was with. We asked permission to go to that other friend's birthday party, but we didn't actually go. But before doing that, we got a bunch of candles. Kasi nga, it's a old house and it's worn down. It's really dark. It was probably around 9, 10, or 11 p.m. So there were candles, right? And we were in a circle. We were sitting in like big old hollow blocks and like empty tin cans and like, with the booze right in front and alcohol, the alcohol's in front and the candles were there. So the candles were lit, right? And 3 of us saw like there was a shadow coming out from the candle that had horns in it.
What?
Like a shadow of a black cat in the night. But there was nothing in between the flame. Parang there was something about when you look at a shadow or when you look at a lit candle, if there was something in between the lit candle and the floor where the diba, supposedly you can see something there in between, right?
Mm-hmm.
If there's nothing there, then there won't be any shadow.
Sure.
But all of a sudden, there was like a Batman shaped shadow, like just the head of Batman with like pointy ears,
with like pointy cat ears.
Yeah, pointy cat ears. Like three of us saw that, and the girl, because she is a magnet for those things, she suddenly freaked out and ran away.
Good girl. Run fast.
She ran away after seeing that. And then we all freaked out. And then we ran with her and we was like, what the hell was that? No, we gotta go. So just to sort of calm ourselves down, we went to a coffee shop, like maybe 10 minutes away. We went to a coffee shop just to calm ourselves down. And the girl started crying. And then a few minutes later, the girl tells us that, hey, guys, we better go back and like clean up our shit there because whatever we left there, whatever that was, it's going to follow us. So us, dumb kids, we went back. But before going back, because we were all scared shitless, we asked help from the uncle, the uncle of that friend who lives 10 seconds away from the house. That was with us. So we went back and we told the truth. We had to confess. We had to confess to the mom and to his uncle.
Come clean na.
Yeah, we had to come clean because we were scared shitless. Parang, tito, tita, we didn't go to our friend's house to his birthday party. We went to the no trespassing house. Dun, just like they're around the corner. And then they were like,
ayan.
And apparently the uncle is sort of a pastor. I don't think they're Catholic, but he was a pastor. He has like experiences with like supernatural stuff like that. So so going back, we told him that we have to go back because we have to clean up our trash. We have to clean up. We have to take back the candles that we took from the kitchen. Ganon. And then after that, so going back to their house, we grabbed every like rosary or crucifix or like Bible we could find and like a bottle of holy water in their altar. So
kahit ano lang pang rest back, no?
Yeah. And so the uncle was like, he goes there, he brings his like hands out like that, and he was like, trying to feel the place. I don't know if he was like playing or whatever.
Okay.
He goes like that and goes like, hey guys, you disturbed a really angry spirit here. And you guys should say sorry. You guys should say sorry. And you have to clean up everything. Yung mga cigarette butts ninyo, yung alak ninyo, yung cups ninyo, yung fish crackers ninyo, yung mga clover chips ninyo. You have to clear it all up, clean it up, and return everything where you got them from.
Right.
Yeah. Like if you picked up this can of paint here, you put it back there. If you picked up this hollow block here, you just put it back to where you got it from.
Yeah.
So we did that, and at the same time when we were cleaning up, we were parang nag-isa-isa kami, like we were going at it one by one, like we're sorry, we didn't mean to come here, we didn't mean to disturb your peace. Ganon. So we're really sorry. Please don't haunt us after we leave here. Peace be with you, and God bless you, and ganon. So one by one, we were saying that. Okay, and as we were cleaning up, so we brought, diba syempre, coming from a convenience store, back in the day, you had like plastic bags kasi hindi pa masyadong environmental conscious yung mga stores, so wala pang paper bags, so plastic bags. So we put all the cigarette butts and like everything. We put everything in the plastic bag, and then I was the last one to put the last piece of garbage right across the street. Okay, right across the street. The crossroom was parked just by the house, and across the street was a large drum na garbage can.
Okay.
So I was the last one to throw the piece of trash, and then I put the lid back down. I remember I was carrying a backpack. And when I looked back to them, the girl that was with us started screaming hysterically, pointing at my direction.
Okay.
And saying in Bisaya, don't let him in.
What?
Parang, don't let him in, don't let him in. Let's get away from here, let's get away from here. Don't let him in. And then she jumps onto yung feet area of the second row of an SUV, like like an Isuzu Crosswind.
Like the little half step.
Yeah, like the little half step. So she jumps there. And in my point of view, since she pointed at my direction, I thought there was something behind me.
Right.
So I ran towards them.
Yeah.
And I made my way inside the car. And I remember having a hard time closing the door on my left. Because she was kicking me hysterically, hitting my
She was
knee.
kicking you.
She was kicking me while her body was on the floor. Her legs were like, of the car. She was like, her legs were like, she was like lying down. But her legs were like that in the middle, like doing that, like kicking. And then in my point of view, I was like freaking out. I was like, what the fuck am I doing to you? I'm not doing anything to you.
Yeah.
And I was yelling and she was yelling hysterically. And it's like, she was saying, wow, no.
Oh my gosh. This poor girl.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I was like, what the fuck am I doing? What the fuck are you guys? What? Ang trip nyo? Are you playing me or something? Am I being punked or pranked or whatever? And then the guy driving, kasi we scooted na eh. Parang we scrambled like it was a 10-second drive, but that must have been the freakiest 10 seconds of my life. Because it was the house was like 10 seconds away from our friend's house, like with the uncle and his mom.
The uncle wasn't there with you when you were.
He was with us. He was with us. Okay. In between those 10 seconds, this is what happened. I get in. I have a hard time closing the door. Once I close the door, we scram. Basta, the driver drove off na. In those 10 seconds, I remember being pinned onto my left because the girl been kicking me and saying, stop touching me, and then yelling hysterically. And then I was yelling at her. I was saying, well, I'm not doing anything to you. What the fuck are you talking about? Blah, blah, blah. What the fuck? Anong trip niyong lahat? Parang,
right. Stop it na. It's not funny.
Stop it. This isn't funny. I'm really freaked out here. Blah, 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 blah. And then in the middle of that, I noticed the guy driving and his cousin, who's in the passenger seat. They both looked at each other. He said, Russ, are you okay? And then I remember the guy in the passenger seat looking at me and then looks away and says, shit.
What?
Yeah, and like he looks behind, he looks over his shoulder
at you,
at me, trying to check out what was going on at the back. Kasi grabe, parang nagsisigawan sa loob ng car. And then me like almost crying and the girl hysterically yelling at me and saying things like, don't touch me in Cebuano, don't touch me, get away from me, you devil, blah, 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 blah.
Whoa.
Yeah, this is my point of view, okay? This is my point of view. And then the guy in the passenger seat looks over his left shoulder to look at the back. And then parang a split second, he looks down. He says, shit. And he asks me, okay ka lang, Russ? Are you still there? I'm like, what the fuck, dude? What are you talking about? And then I remember getting hit by holy water in the back because the uncle was at the back. Because he rode in the back of the crosswind, right?
Okay.
And I remember like he was probably doing that to me with holy water.
Right.
And I remember as I was being hit by holy water, I was like making the sign of the cross like probably 1,000,000 times.
You were doing that.
Yeah, this is my point of view. And I was doing that. While holding the strap of my backpack on my left hand and doing that.
Yeah.
Doing the sign of the cross. And then after that, the next thing I knew was like we already arrived at their house, like at the front of their gate.
Okay.
So everyone goes down. The girl goes down and crawling. And she runs towards the driver because I think they were dating at that time.
Okay.
She runs towards the guy driving and says, don't keep Russell away from me. Don't let him near me. Don't you come near me.
Whoa,
bastard. Whoa. What the fuck did I do to you? I was crying already because I was freaking out. And then, whoa. And then the guy, the guy who was driving was like, he looked at me. Are you okay? And then, no, I'm not okay. What? Stop asking me if I'm okay or not. But what the fuck happened back there? And then the guy, because there were 5 of us.
Yeah.
So the guy driving, the guy in the passenger seat,
the girl,
the girl on the foot area of the second row of the crosswind, and our friend whose uncle was with us.
Okay.
He was in the far right naman, across me. Like on the second level. He was on the far right.
Okay.
And then he says, and he comes up to me and then he holds my face and like, tries to check my eye like that. Are you okay? And then he like does this to my lips. And then he
like
does
raises
that.
your lips and checks your teeth? Like what?
Like he raises my lips and checks my teeth, and like he checks the back of my head, or like he checks my arms, and then like, are you okay? All of them are asking me, are you okay?
And you're just like freaking out more because they're like, what happened?
What the fuck happened, guy? What the fuck happened? Okay. And then the uncle says, okay, guys, let's just go inside now and try to calm down and talk about this inside once everyone is settled. Someone give Russ here a glass of water or something.
No one's explaining anything to you.
No one's explaining anything to me, right? So okay, so we settled down. We went inside the house. We settled down, and then start things off because it was like silence. Everyone was just like sitting around the living room on the couches, on the sofas, and then I broke the silence. I was like, guys, can you tell me what the fuck just happened back there? So the guy, si friend who had the uncle with us, he said, you don't remember anything? He asks me, okay, this is what I remember. So I told the story from the moment I threw the garbage bag and turned around and catching the girl pointing at me, yelling hysterically. So yeah, I told that story. So after I finished telling that story, really? They were like, you think that's what happened? And I'm like, yeah, what else happened? Like, what are you talking about? And they were like, no, Russ, that's not what happened.
Oh, no. Okay, so what happened?
So to describe it graphically, in their point of view,
okay,
the moment I crossed the street, they were calling me na pala, tara, let's go. And that's when I turned back.
Okay.
The thing is, when I turned back, the girl said that I no longer look like myself.
Okay.
I don't know if she was drunk enough to hallucinate. We didn't have any psychedelics of some sort. None of that stuff.
Because you said like you only had like 2 shots and then you got into trouble. So parang when you get into trouble and you're like done cleaning up na, la nang amats yun.
Yeah, wala. So
she explains that you turned around and you looked like not yourself. Like you looked like something totally different.
So she explains that I no longer look like myself. To even put it graphically, not all of them actually saw the facial transformation.
Okay.
But all of them heard the voice transformation inside the car.
Okay.
It was only the guy in the passenger seat and the guy to my right inside the car and the girl. There were only 3 of them who saw the face transforming. But all of them heard the voice change. And in their point of view, the moment I hopped in the car,
okay,
I went straight for the girl daw. I was
trying to like attack her?
I was trying to attack her. I was trying to get the cross from her hand that she was holding so tightly while wiggling around and kicking me with one hand, and the other hand was trying to grab her leg of some sort. And I was like speaking not in tongues but like in mixed language na parang may English, na parang may Cebuano, na parang may something na hindi nila maintindihan. So, but from what they could pick up, they said that I said things like, parang your God is dead now.
What the fuck?
And there's no one will save you. Parang you're mine. Parang ganon daw.
Oh, calm down, buddy. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah, that's what they said. Parang, I was like at first, parang, fuck, you're shitting me, guys. Like, fuck you all. But
like, that's
parang,
not funny, man.
Yeah, that's not funny, but Uncle attested to it. Like, he said na I couldn't understand everything that you were saying, but the moment daw that he sprayed me with holy water, para daw ako nag-collapse for a few seconds.
In the car pa to.
In the car.
Okay.
So this is their point of view. Okay.
Oh boy.
So they say these things happening, but the thing is, what they're telling me isn't how I perceived it.
Right. Did they say anything about the face that your face had allegedly transformed into?
They said, the friend to my right said that back then I had like a fade cut. Not like this one, but I had really short hair back then. But he said that my hair grew kind of long.
What?
Like Johnny Depp, common Johnny Depp long. And like my eyes were like bright white.
Bright
white. And my lips turned black.
What?
And my teeth seemed like they were sharp and they were in different layers.
What? That's why your friend was like checking your mouth.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's why he was checking my mouth. Because from the moment he took a glimpse at me, he got so scared. He looked back and he was trying to hold the cross that the girl was holding too. And that's where he felt like, he said I was really strong. And that's when he saw like, you know when you're inside a car and it's not lit on the inside, but when you pass by
like a lamp,
street lamps, and like there's the light that comes like moving light that comes from like street lamp to street lamp,
sure,
like inside the car. So it's there when he got the glimpse of my arm. It looked like cracked soil though.
What?
That classic photo from like La Nina phenomenon.
Maybe
pictures.
El Nino, like when it's really
sorry, El Nino. Yeah, El Nino. Parang ganun daw yung like my skin turned into that. But it started shifting daw as soon as I passed out a bit. Like that's what he said. But yun nga, up until now, it's still a big question mark
for you.
For me,
right?
And for
what he said was corroborated by the girl you were with and the guy in the passenger seat who had looked back. They all saw the same thing.
3 of them saw me. 2 of them didn't get to see what was going on, but they heard the voices.
And Tito Pastor also saw you.
Well, what he said lang daw is that I smelled differently. There was a really bad smell inside the car. He couldn't describe it. Parang it was like, I don't know if he knew the smell of a dead body, but all he could describe it was like bad smell lang talaga. Foul, really foul odor. Like it wasn't anything that he's ever smelled before. Like, it could have been like my hands because I just touched the garbage can outside. I don't know. But the way he explained it is parang, di ba, some people say when there's an evil presence,
it smells like rotting meat or like rotting stuff,
something,
basically.
Rotting stuff. Parang that's how he was like that's how he was putting it. Ba? So there goes my fucked up
couple
story.
Of questions.
Okay.
Were there any like psychedelic, maybe like other substances that could have altered your state of mind aside from like the 2 shots of alcohol that you guys said?
No, I don't. We weren't on anything else but alcohol.
Right.
At that point.
And how old was everyone? Like pre-college, right?
For me and the friend on my right, that was a summer transitioning from high school to college.
Right.
But the girl was already in 2nd year college. The 2 other guys were already in 3rd year or 4th year college.
Okay.
So they were college kids and we were transitioning to be college kids. And the uncle was he must have been in his probably late 40s or early 50s at that time.
Right. So everybody was pretty much clean aside from like a tiny bit of alcohol, and that went down. And I mean, we got really detailed about it, but like, would you say that it happened in a relatively quick amount of time?
Very fast, because like the distance from the house of friend to the right and that no trespassing house is on the same street. It's probably like just 5 houses away or 6 houses away.
Right. So like super nearby, and like a car ride would take literally less than 30 seconds, right?
Yep.
Like even less.
Even less, like 10 seconds. You can walk it or you can jog it and probably arrive at the same time, like with a car, like at 20 kilometers per hour.
Right. So like, okay, so all of that happened. They saw that, and then you're like saying that wasn't how I experienced it. Did Tito Pastor say anything about it? Like afterwards, when you guys basically realized that what you had experienced and what they had seen was very different, did your friends Tito have any sort of explanation? Like what was up? What was going on? What was that?
Well, he didn't have a clear explanation as to what happened, but he did suggest that I start like going to mass every day. He started like me taking my prayers seriously. He told me to like, you're Catholic, right? So like go to confession, get yourself blessed, or I don't know, rebaptized or whatever.
Right.
He told me lang to do that. And so for a time, since that was a big question mark, and I was like, it's still a mystery to me, like how that happened. Parang I've come to a conclusion maybe like my physical body was used to taunt the girl, and I don't know why I was the one used, or it could have been any one of us.
Like it could have been anyone. Ikaw lang, parang nagkataon lang, and then
nagkataon lang.
The
talaga.
Target was the girl.
Or and I have another theory. When that was happening, I believe in dimensions kasi of like existence, like different realms, like coexisting duality, like parallel universes and stuff like that. Like what's this movie? Matthew McConaughey? Interstellar, yeah, something like that. Like I could have probably, for those 10-20 seconds of that incident, I was probably living in a different reality.
Right.
Towards them, like my soul, my soul machine, my spirit, whatever, my life force probably went into a different reality and then was substituted by whatever the fuck that was.
Right.
That had sharp teeth and long hair and cracked skin and white eyes and black lips. Whatever that was that took over my physical matter in this realm right now. That's like one of my theories. I probably switched, or
like it put you aside somewhere, or it could be like it put you aside in some area of your brain or something.
Yeah, or probably whatever that was, like said, "Oh, empty meat suit must possess now and scare everyone." I don't know.
Serves my purpose. Empty meat suit. Poor guy. Oh man.
I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. I could come up with so many theories, but
did anything else happen after? So like that went on. Obviously, y'all had to go home. What
after that? I became like literally good boy. I stopped smoking cigarettes for a few months. I started praying the rosary with my mom every night before bedtime. I started saying the 3 o'clock prayer every day. Stuff like that. I went to confession whenever I could. And after that, parang it took a while. It took a while for me to actually get over that thing. And you know what's fucked up?
What?
I actually tattooed myself of that. I got a tattoo that would remind me of that incident.
What's the tattoo?
It's this one on my arm. I don't know. It's blurry.
It's blurry, but I can't really see it.
Yeah, it looks like a devil of some sort.
Okay, to remind you of the vision of that thing.
Yeah, parang like the concept of like a Hanya mask. Like if you have it, it sort of scares away. It's like a mirror image of
interesting.
Of that evil thing. Kasi parang there's like a belief where if the evil can see itself, it gets scared shitless of itself, so it just tends to run away.
Wow, sorry, my brain just went to maybe we should just show some of the shady people running for president their own photos. Lols.
Katulad ni who was that guy? Captain, was that Lucifer guy? What the fuck?
I don't know, man. But like, I have a few ideas, but let's not get into that. This is a peaceful conversation about things.
That's a whole different horror story.
That's a whole different horror story, but like in real life. Okay. So that's pretty creepy, and that happened in Cebu. Moving to Manila, did anything happen to you here that like really stands out? I mean, I know you mentioned that thing about that happened with the towel and your grandmother.
Yeah, but that wasn't really that super creepy. I guess I had this one incident actually here in the South, but I wasn't living here yet. I was out with someone that I just had met here I was out with that person and a couple of other guys. And they were like, hey, joyride, tara. New friends, like, welcome to Manila, blah, 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 joyride, tara. So I'm like, okay, being all adventurous and like, okay, what the hell? You know, you're young and like dumb and whatever. So, and as part of the moment, one of the guys said, hey, let's go to this old burnt down building down in Tropical in Las Piñas. Because apparently there's like
even burnt down buildings, man.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know.
I guess as long as you're not doing the burning.
Yeah. As long as you're not the arsonist there. Well, Cebu's really, it's a small place. People get bored there so much. Like,
oh no.
Like people just come up with like the most brightest ideas ever.
Anyway, sorry, back to your story. You were saying.
Yeah. Siguro, yeah, we went down in this place in BF Homes in Las Piñas because apparently there was a hotel that burnt down there like back in the early 90s and had like 400 people burning along with it or something.
Whoa, what? There's a hotel?
Yeah, there's like this small village in BF Las Piñas.
No, I know
Tropical?
This. Yeah, Tropical Palace. Tropical Palace.
And diba, parang there were like 300 or 400 people burnt down with it or something like that.
You know what? I don't actually have the specifics of the story. I know there was a fire, but every time I ask my parents, they like they just don't want to talk about it.
Oh, shit. There must be something to it then.
I don't know, but it's like, I guess it's just like a really terrible thing that happened. And like, I guess we just had, like, the thing is, I used to live in that area, or, well, not specifically in that area, but passing by through that area would be like the quickest way to get home. And sometimes I go home at night.
Yeah, because it's a shortcut. Like,
it is.
Shortcut siya.
Yeah.
It
and
is
you
a
don't
shortcut.
have to like go around the long way, diba?
Yeah, and that area before had no street lights whatsoever.
Yeah.
So it was hella dark, right?
It's hella dark. And then there are like 3 bungalows, right? Like in front of it of people who live there. And that would be like the only light.
Yeah. And I can't believe like there are houses with people actually living in that vicinity, right?
Ng mga tao yun, no?
Grabe, di ba? Ang brave lang.
Yeah, man. Balls of steel. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
So anyway, we were in that friend's car and apparently that friend is also a magnet. And siya naman, other than feeling stuff, she can actually see. I don't know if she was just making it up or whatever, but
Sure.
I think it was probably the main entrance of the hotel, or I think we went inside where you're not supposed to be in.
Right. It's like metro. It's like overgrown and dark.
Yeah. Tall grass.
It's like ruins.
Yeah, it's ruins talaga, literal ruins. So we went into those ruins and then she started pointing their high beams on some areas, like
high beams of what?
Of the car.
Okay.
So started pointing high beams there, and then she'd turn it off, and then we'd be like,
stupid kids. But okay. No offense.
Kids talaga. Yeah, So, and then she does that like a couple of times. And then on one of the last times na ginawa niya yun, the person in the front seat and siya, tatlo kami, but we were like 5 all in all. We saw 2 sets of red dots that were beside each other, moving slowly at first, and then it would disappear, and then it would appear again, but in a different place. And then one of the 2 dots, there was nothing there at all. There was nothing there, like just the 2 dots.
Was the light on at this time, or it was off?
It was off. It was off. Like, it was really dim. And nung nakita na namin yung pangalawang dot, was sort of like, parang, they seemed like eyes.
Yeah.
But the way they were like spaced to each other, and if you have like a good depth perception, like if you look far, if you have like a good depth perception, parang, you could depict them as like a set of eyes. It could have been dogs, could have been cats or whatever, but they were probably like 4 or 5 feet from the ground.
Okay.
They were like 4 or 5 feet from the ground.
So it was like someone standing up, right?
Someone's not just standing up. It was moving around. Like like from side to side, and then it disappears. And then it appears again in another place, and then it disappears. And then it appears again in another place, and then it disappears.
Right.
So it was moving erratically and frantically. And then one of the sets of the two dots, somehow, parang it started running towards us. Parang it started coming near us at a really fast pace. And then it freaked out the girl driving the car. So she was like, shit. And she backs up really quick and we run.
At this point, the headlights are off?
Well, she turned it on na.
But even when she turned it on,
She
was
she
still
didn't
red.
follow. She didn't follow the. I closed my eyes na and started yelling. They were like, yeah, let's get out of here. Bang! It happened so fast. It just happened so fast, and then we were out of there after like that. Those pair of red dots started coming fast at us. I don't know what that was. It could have been a dog. Could have been a dog standing up or a cat flying. I don't know.
I'd like to go with flying cat on this one.
Yeah,
just
me
because
too.
it's like the alternative is unacceptable.
Yeah, because like I don't know, and I think that was like the last. It's one of the last like paranormal supernatural experiences that I've had ever since moving here. Oh shit! Wait, I have one more. Back in college in CSB.
Okay.
So in college in CSB, I formed this other band called Curbside.
Oh yes.
Yeah, and I was with our guitar player. We were at his because for a time he sort of he bunked rooms with one of our common friends.
Is this Castle?
Yes, this is Castle.
Okay, I know the story.
Yeah.
Okay, but go. Okay, go.
You know this story?
Yeah,
You know the story na?
Vaguely, I mean, secondhand, but please go on.
Okay, wait. Is this the moving blinds? The window slamming?
I don't know, but please continue.
Okay. So it was me and Nico, our other guitar player.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, we were just hanging out in his pad, in his room, where he was roommates with one of our common friends who was like a poser Satanist.
Poser Satanist? Bakit naman poser Satanist?
Because he had like an inverted cross by his bedside.
Pero bakit siya poser?
Kasi parang balita namin, like he goes to mass pa rin with his, he goes to church pa rin with his family on weekends and shit like that. Okay. So he's from all the way in the province, like I forget what province, basta. Yeah, he's one of those like funny friends of yours that you know just quite the character. So they were roommates, right? So we were just hanging out there, and back then I was still smoking a lot, and I was by the window smoking a cigarette, and then I remember like throwing the cigarette butt outside the window and closing the window, but I didn't lock it just so that like the smoke can like go away. Like I remember like pointing the fan towards the window so like the smoke goes away because we didn't like to parang it was kind of a non-smoking room, but I was there anyways, and we were waiting for the poster Satanist friend to come back from wherever the hell he was coming from. But while waiting for him, so Nico, he sort of, because they had like blinds, so he puts. Kasi the blinds were up, so he put it down and closed the window properly so we could turn on the AC para the room would get cold because it was getting really hot. And then we were just hanging out. Maybe we've been there like for almost an hour now or more, just hanging out. And like he was on his laptop. They had, I think he was trying to finish a project or whatever. And then all of a sudden, the blinds just started moving on its own.
But the window was closed?
The window was closed, so there was no air moving. The fan was off, and the AC was tama ba? Like on the same side as the window was. So
so it's not like it could have been on the opposite side of the room where the wind would hit it and then it would move. It wasn't like that.
And it was moving like really slow. Like parang kinalabog lang.
Right.
And then Nico and I were like, when we looked at each other, we looked at our arms and biglang we both had goosebumps.
Yeah.
And he was like, shit, man. And then a few seconds after that, we were just looking at each other. Should we get out of here? And we were just thinking pa, and we were waiting. And then biglang the blinds were like rattling really.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, just talking about it right now is just like giving me goosebumps. So biglang nag-rattle ng mabilis, and so we ran. We just ran. He didn't even bring his laptop. In fact, in fact, that same night he slept over at my place na in Vito Cruz. And the fucked up thing there is whatever that was,
Right.
it sort of followed
Oh,
us
man!
in my place.
Why?
It did the same fucking thing with my blinds.
Why didn't you guys make pagpag in like Jollibee or 7-Eleven? It's on the way.
I don't know, because
Like mini stop.
we freaked out. Like we were literally running. And
Oh,
we were
man.
like so freaking out. Yung, anong pindot ka ng pindot sa down ng
Oh,
elevator.
man. Okay. But
So-
like, sabi mo he was a bed spacer, diba?
Mhm.
So he had roommates.
He had roommates.
And they didn't experience anything like other, like similar or...
I think they did, but all in like different occasions. Some stories I probably never heard of, but maybe because they had like a whole different circle. Even though everyone kind of knew each other, you have like all these different cliques and like you know. So some rooms there in Castle have like really creepy ass stories. Like someone knocking on their door, and like when you look at the people, no one is there. So it could probably be like a neighbor trying to play a prank on you or whatever. But like the worst thing I heard about that building is like the smell of like something rotting though.
Well,
Like coming from not the garbage chute, because iba yung amoy ng
like sewage
rotting.
and garbage smell different from rotting things.
Yep.
Like, I don't know, man. It's just like the specific quality of the smell that just makes you want to gag.
Yeah. It's like I was a pre-med student for 6 years.
You were in pre-med?
Yeah, I was pre-med.
What? Who are you?
I know, it's weird, right? Like I was pre-med for like 6 years, 3 years nursing, 3 years PT. And then if you're taking physical therapy kasi, you have to deal with cadavers, right?
Yeah.
So I took PT and umabot ako dun sa point na yun where your human anatomy, you're actually dealing with chopped human bodies, whole, half, or just arms, or just legs, or just open torsos and shit like that. And iba yung smell ng formalin.
Yeah.
Pero parang when you're holding like the cadaver, or an arm with like a shoulder blade, or like a femur bone with, or like a tibia, fibula, or like a leg bone with like the feet still intact, parang, and you see the meat, you see the muscle, the nerves, and and it smells like formalin. Parang you can imagine the smell of like rotting and associated with that. Pero personally, I haven't. Siguro the most rotten thing that I've smelled was like a dead rat. That's the worst.
It's not so bad. No.
Diba?
Yeah, I know. I
Lala.
get it.
Ang lala. So, if you could imagine like that kind of smell, but in like a bigger, like human-sized mass of like rotting muscle and bone and blood and like, ugh, just
gross. I mean, like, so yeah, I heard that story about Castle and like that weird room. I think I don't know if it's the same room, but like a lot of people kind of hung out there because it was like, college, fun times. There was a story that I heard that a student had unfortunately took his own life in that condo.
Was this the one who jumped off and like landed on the LRT electric line?
Yeah.
Shit. I was on the Starbucks at Torre Lorenzo when that happened.
Oh my God.
And there were people screaming. Like parang, like, and from afar, you could hear it. Like people were like, and then biglang, boom, may sumabog. And then biglang nag-black out yung entire Vito Cruz going towards Manila Bay na area.
Dang.
Nag-black out yung buong street doon. Because apparently, parang nag-short yung transformer na yun dahil sumabit siya sa isang wire and naputol yung wire, and then his body landed on that wire sa LRT.
Gosh, poor thing. Poor guy.
I was in Starbucks. I was just hanging out there when that happened. And then so basically you're curious, like, look, like brown out. And then there was a big blast. But then after hearing those
yeah.
So we kind of rushed to the front of Castle.
Yeah.
And yun, parang shit, someone just jumped off and like died and electrocuted himself, and he's still there, the wire. I didn't see the body, but
dude, you know what's really creepy? So like I'm just like doing a really, really quick Google now.
Yeah.
And there are two instances. One in 2007 and one in 2013.
This was 2013.
Yeah.
This was 2013. For sure, this was 2013. I was still in CSB in 2013.
Right.
Was this the one who jumped off the LRT and like body catching on the LRT wire?
Both seem to have hit wires.
Fuck.
So
That's just
I don't know what's up with that, if there's like some other weird, creepy thing going on, but like it's so unfortunate.
I know.
And incredibly, like, I don't know what's up with this condo because people, I've never actually been there myself because I've just never had a reason to. Like, I didn't have friends who lived there or whatever. But most of the people who I do know, like, go there to hang out at their like friends' places or whatever. It's like they say that it has this overall like creepy vibe.
It does. The moment you enter the building, even in the lobby, like it's so dimly lit.
Really?
And then in every floor you go, there's just like a flickering light in the hallway.
Oh man.
And some amoy kulob.
Yeah.
You know, like the smell of human not showering for
Oh,
days.
No. College student.
And, like, apparently there's just like so much like kept negative energy in that area.
Yeah, parang that's the overwhelming like sentiment about that area. Parang it's just like kulob and just like parang like a lot of like bad vibes or like trapped in it or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never been there personally, but like I've heard a lot of people talk about it.
May ganun talaga. Parang whenever I would go there, like to hang out like with friends or whatever, I always had that feeling that something bad was about to happen.
Like ominous or something. Like,
yeah.
Anyway, I think we've come to almost like pretty much the end of the show. And just as one final question, we've gone through some really creepy stories. Is there a story in particular that's a little bit funny or a story that amuses you? Just to end on a light note, you know?
Oh, just end on a light note. I think the funniest would be that me kicking the gnome and me like being surprised, scared, and like just mixed emotions, just seeing the curious happy face of the gnome as it seemed like it tried to grab my phone from my hand, running towards me like in like toddler steps, because it looked like a toddler with like short limbs and stuff. Parang it was kind of creepy because it's not something you see normally.
Yeah.
So in fact, I think it was kind of cute. I thought of it as a little bit cute, but like scary at the same time because ay, tangina duwende, parang ganun eh. So parang, ay, tangina, liit, ang cute. Tapos biglang, oh shit, it's running towards me. And then biglang, I freaked out. And then I accidentally kicked it and I didn't know where it went.
This is like some sort of weird cartoon. Where you kick it and it's like, no.
Yeah, it's like kicking one of the seven dwarves. Like,
no.
Like
the one that was the one
like
trying to get your phone.
Like, yeah, trying to get my phone. And it's like, ooh, colors, lights, and like, what the fuck? No, don't get my phone. Fuck you. Fuck you.
No, but like now recently, nothing of the sort has sort of happened to you anymore. Like these experiences are coming sort of few and far between.
Yeah, but ever since I actually moved into the city and like stopped hanging out with people who are magnets, it kind of stopped it. Like there are the occasional like bangungots and stuff that happened, but we all know scientifically that happens because like you ate and you slept right away and stuff like that, right?
Slightly, but the explanation that I know of, or one of the explanations that I know of, is that your brain woke up faster than your body.
Oh, it's like there's a lag time.
Yeah. It's like you're in a certain state of sleep. And then diba, when you wake up, you go through the stages of waking up. When that happens, it's like you skip the stages and then you just like your brain wakes up, but your body like hasn't gone through the process. So your brain has like delayed firing the synapses to like wake you up. Because like when you're asleep, your body is disabled so that when you dream, you don't like do anything stupid, right? So
okay. There's that explanation pala.
Well, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I'm explaining it properly. I'm not a sleep scientist or whatever, but I do remember reading it somewhere. So there's that.
Well, and that actually makes a lot of sense.
That's how I give myself comfort versus the alternative of, a crone sitting on my chest, like trying to eat me.
Yeah.
I prefer that.
Well, that's iba naman yun. Like with the most bangongots I have, it's usually me. Over in the last decade siguro, the common theme of my bangongot is me knowing I'm in a really bad dream and me trying to wake myself up and me being conscious na I need to wake myself up, but I can't seem to move myself. Kasi diba, you have to like twitch or move a limb. That's why when you wake up, you're like surprised and then you jolt. Like the same time you wake up, or like maybe the split second difference between the jolt and you being conscious enough to be aware that you're actually awake already.
Right. So no, exactly.
So for me, it's like sometimes, have you ever had like that bad dream, like you're endlessly falling into a endless pit and then you want it to stop and then you wake up the moment you land on the ground?
No, not the endless pit part, but I have dreamt that I like fell or like
tripped over
or like fell backwards, but not like falling into an endless pit. But then when I hit the ground, it's like I wake up.
Yeah. May ganun pala din talaga, no? But some people, do you believe in like meanings of like dreams and nightmares and stuff like that?
I do, to a certain extent. Like it's fun, like reading dream meanings and all that. Like if you dream of teeth, it means something, and if you dream of this, it means that. Like I do like reading about it for fun. But what I do believe about dreams is that it's like this weird hodgepodge of your subconscious.
Yeah.
Like flooding images into your brain. And so it's either a face you've seen before in passing or whatnot, or an experience you've had. And it's like, it's sort of just putting it together into this like whole new dream sequence. That's what I believe about it. And, maybe it's trying to show you something that you may have repressed. Or like
I read something about that, like that too. Yeah, I read stuff about that too. Parang it's like just buried deep down in your subconscious, and then biglang dyan susulpot sa sa
yeah. So I mean, I believe in that, and I believe in thinking about them and maybe like thinking about what they mean to you.
Yeah, because like thoughts become reality, stuff like that, like law of attraction stuff.
Sure,
parang it can be linked to that din eh. It's like I napansin ko rin, like before when I hung out with guys who were magnets, and then we'd always be talking about these supernatural things. And apparently, because you're always talking about it, you're always attracting the thought of these ghosts or like demons or whatever.
Yeah.
Parang nagiging they become your reality then. So nagiging malapitin ka rin. But the moment you stop attracting, the moment like you stop just talking about all these paranormal things, these supernatural things, and it just stops.
I feel like, Russ, you're giving me a lecture.
Well, not really, pero I don't know, just based on my observation, like how I'd compare like those days when I'd be hanging out with the magnet people, and now parang since pandemic then, and we're all trying to just stay at home as much as we can and try to avoid going out as much as possible. Only go out for like essential stuff lang.
Yeah.
So yeah. Parang,
I mean, on a final note, that whole idea about a magnet, I did this one season of Grimcast where all the people that I talked to had third eyes. And honestly, that was the most intense season. And it was like super, super creepy. And then, I don't know, I guess I was just like telling my mom about what I'd been up to. Just like, hey, mom, I'm doing this and then that. And she tells her priest. I guess she's very religious, and it bothered her. I can understand why. And she tells her priest about it. And then the priest,
does she force you to like talk to the priest or something?
No naman.
Like go through a cleansing or whatever?
No naman. But that priest, who is actually a friend of the family, he actually told my mom that, hey, you should tell her to think about stopping it because she's becoming a beacon.
Yeah.
And then when she told me that, I was like, beacon what? What are you talking about? And then she's like, you're becoming a beacon because you're talking about it so much that they're starting to like, it's like when you see the beacon, like the bat signal up in the sky.
Yeah.
You're starting to become like one of the it's something that they can be attracted to. It's just like,
ikaw na tuloy yung lalapitan.
Yeah, so after that, I was like, just no, thank you po. So after that season, I actually took a really, really long break. Like a really long break. Because it was just like, it was a lot. It was a lot. And then tapos parang sasabihan pa ako na parang hina-hinay ka lang. May ganyan.
Yeah. But I guess we can always do something to like counter these things.
Yeah, in another episode, one of my other guests kind of gave me this little sort of closing the door ritual. Which was it's actually more of, I feel like, for me. I'm not sure if it works, if it does, lovely, but it's really for me to like set my intention that okay, I've done this. It's enough na. I'm done na.
So I guess it's a case to case basis for depending on how deep your belief is with those things, I guess.
It depends. I mean,
it's more personalized siguro yung ano no.
Yeah,
like the closing ritual.
Yeah, it's really me setting my intention na, like, cause my friend that guest said na yun nga, it's really attracts these things. So one thing that you can do is that after you're done, which is honestly what I'm gonna do after this recording.
Oh, I'll probably do it too.
After you're done,
we're about to head to bed. Actually, I have a 5 a.m. thing later.
Oh no! Okay, so
it's fine. It's cool.
Last story, but like after you're done, you kind of just go, all right. Thanks for coming. You've had a lovely show. Exit to the right, please. Or parang like, on you go.
Okay.
Like, thanks for coming. Thanks for hanging out. You can go now.
Okay.
I mean,
do you
know,
tell yourself that, or do you like speak to the universe?
I like speak to the universe and just be like, we're done now. Thanks for coming. You may exit through the door. Parang ganun.
Okay. I don't know why when you said that, I started getting goosebumps.
Really?
Yeah.
I think, did it make you feel better or worse?
I don't know. Maybe I have to say it too. Okay, thanks. Bye. We're done. We're wrapping up.
You've had dinner and the show.
We're gonna. Yeah, you have dinner and the show. We've showcased you guys. We're informing the world of interwebs that you guys are actually real, whether you show yourselves or not. And yeah, you're cool. Leave us be in peace. And yeah.
I'm glad how we did this on. I'm glad that we did this on air. It's very nice. I wish I could show people the video. It's so cool. You're like holding up the peace signs. Like, okay na tayo.
Yeah, okay na tayo.
Oh, good.
And it's actually cool because like after I said that, it actually worked. Like my goosebumps started coming down and feel kind of lighter.
Yeah. So for anyone who's getting super freaked out by what we've been doing, that's like a nice thing to do to like calm yourself down and be able to live another day.
Just set yourself up and pray, or don't think about these things.
Yeah.
So they don't come to you.
Right. I mean, I want to say, if you're super chicken, stop listening to this podcast, but don't stop listening to this podcast. Please, like, don't leave me here. But anyway, thank you so much for joining us, Russ. Is there anything you want to share with the good and wonderful people of the internet? What are you up to these days?
Oh, thank you so much too, Antonette, for having me over here. I had so much fun talking about the paranormal and the whatnot. Nice little conversation here at the Grimcast with Antonette. And please do like, follow, and subscribe on my YouTube channel. I'm now an active YouTuber.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where can they find you? What's your channel name?
You can subscribe to RussMan TV.
And what can they find on your YouTube channel?
Well, for now, I have a couple of playthroughs from... I have 2 playthroughs, and I'm planning to do more playthroughs of Faspitch songs, curbside songs. I'll probably do a little bit of mix rundowns and how I mix these videos, how I mix the audio of these videos. So you can take a little peek at my brain and how I do my process.
Awesome. Sounds super exciting. Thank you again, Russ, so much for being on. This has been really, really fun and pretty creepy, those stories of yours.
Yeah, I know. And I had fun. I had fun like taking a trip back memory lane and trying to remember the things that I've buried deep down there.
Deep down, probably for a good reason.
Yeah. I'm in a better, peaceful, less Mumu centric place now.
It's a wonderful place to be. Stay there. Anyway, this has been Grimcast Manila with your host, Antonette. You can find more episodes on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, YouTube, and everywhere you find your podcasts. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Grimcast Manila. Grimcast Manila is a podcast of creepy stories from around the metro and is produced, recorded, and distributed by Big Baby Studios. Find out more about the other shows on Big Baby at itsabigbaby.com or facebook.com/Big Baby Studios. Have a spooky night.